Welcome back, FPL family. It's FPL Bisco here. We're here for our Game Week 4 preview. International break is over, so thank goodness. Before we move on and get into the team that I've hit for my wild card, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit that 100 subscriber mark, so please make sure you do if you do nothing else for regular content updates and all that good stuff. So I've hit my wild card, so I'm going to run you through my wild card team. Hopefully it's a decent team, and if you've got any suggestions, please let me know. By the title already, you should know that I've already got 4 Liverpool players in my team. So am I going to stick with it and not move it at all? Or should I transfer them out and kind of redo the whole team and figure out a better wildcard option? We're going to look at the team. We're going to look at some fixtures that I've got and some players that I'm really looking forward to. Here's my wild card. This is the team that I've cooked up. I hope it's not too bad. And let me know if you think your team will be better or what players I'm missing out on. There's some wins and losses that I'm taking here. I've got Henderson and Dubravka in goal. I've picked Henderson as my cover for the Palace defense. There might be better options out there, but for now, I was happy with Henderson. Gahey staying in the team, but I didn't know if he was going to stay and be in form or stay and start. Or that kind of instability is really frustrating, and they've got that at Nottingham Forest. Henderson and Dubravka don't rotate well, so I am considering Robert Sanchez, I'm considering Royce from Sunderland, and Vicario from Spurs. So those might be better options, but this is the ones that I'm going with for now. My defense, I've still got the Kuiper in there. He's not my favorite 4.5 midfielder anymore, but let's wait it out and see what Brighton can always surprise us. Senesi, who I've been crying about for a long time, is back in the team. We've got Dan Burn in there, Van Dijk, which I'm super happy to have made the 6 mil for, and Milenkovic. Arsenal defenders are missing for sure. We might have Gabriel. We might even have Timber, but we definitely trust the Arsenal defense. Saliba being out, how good are they going to be? Will they still have that clean sheet threat? And then Calafiori, are we sure that he's definitely going to be a starter? How are they going to start rotating when they've got Europe and when they've got midweek games and stuff like that? I'm not 100% sure. But I do have an entry point for Arsenal players, but just not now. I'll go further into that a bit later on into the video. Caicedo's there, which I'm very happy with as my Ismail Assar replacement. So he's there mostly for the dog points. He's number 1 in dog points this season. He's got, I think, 42. Absolutely fantastic. We've got Dewsbury Hall in there, who's been decent this season, as my cover. So I'm probably going to go for 3 in midfield for most weeks. And this week he might start. Salah and Gakpo are my Liverpool assets on top of Van Dijk. And then we've got Stack. Don't remember his first name. But Stack, his data is good. That's the main thing. I know that he's got a good XGI or whatever it is. He's a regular starter for Leeds. If anyone does put up some numbers, he is primed to do so. So he's up there in terms of the statistics for Leeds. But it's just cover, just cheap cover. So let me not overthink it and say that it was a statistical stroke of genius from me. It wasn't. Then we've got Watkins, Pedro, and Isak up front. So we'll talk about Isak last. So Watkins is still on last straw with me. He played for England tonight, so this is recorded on a Tuesday night. You'll see this whenever he plays for England. He's doing okay. He's still playing the games. He's still, if Villa figure it out, Watkins is going to score goals, and there's some good fixtures for Watkins coming up. That's the bulk of the issue. We'll leave it there. As soon as I can get him out, I will. Now is just not the week that I want to do it. Yeah, Pedro is there. He's been a fantastic striker this season, if not the number 1 forward for points so far. I've got no problem with him. The issue is now Isak. Isak for 10.4 million, which I've got him on, and I'm happy with that. Is it too early? Maybe. I'm not even going to say yes. I'm happy playing 2 up front this week, and then if the following week Isak starts or plays over 30 minutes, I believe that Isak can get himself a goal or an assist or some kind of contribution. If he doesn't, then I would have made a mistake. If he doesn't contribute in 2 weeks, I have made a mistake. However, I believe that he will. Even if I've made the mistake, it's not that big of a mistake, because who else am I going to play up front? The only options are, I would say, Wissa and or Mateta. Those are the only other 2 strikers which I'd add on to these. And I've still got an extra $1 million in the bank, so I can afford anyone I want outside of Haaland. And it's a wild card. I can make the money up if I really want to. I'm not going to get Haaland this draft. So who else am I going to get? I don't necessarily. Wissa might be the best option, but is he going to split the minutes with Walter? How are they going to play? Is it going to suit him? He might score, but will he outscore Isak over the next 6 weeks? Not 100% sure. But Isak might not even be fit for 6 weeks. So yes, it is a risk. And if I do want to make one transfer, it's going to have to be a Liverpool player. That's really, really annoying. But so far, I think this will work more than enough for me, at least for 1 week. And I've got 4 transfers. So if I really feel like I'm hard done by or something's just out of the ordinary, then I can transfer them all out later on. I don't have to do this week. For this week, I can stand by this team with the 4 Liverpool players and be like, I'm really, really gonna attack Burnley away. It would be better if it was a home fixture, but let me know how you feel. Outside of that, Ismail Assar being injured really put me in a pickle, and these were a few of the options that I was looking at outside to replace him, but they were all 6.5 million under. Gave myself a bit of a challenge. So we've got Brooks and Tavernier, who are the number 2 and 3 most threatening players statistically at Bournemouth. So if you're not on Semenyo and you don't feel the need, because his price keeps going up and up and up and up and up. So if you don't feel the need to go for a Semenyo, Brooks is actually much better than Tavernier, but statistically, Tavernier actually does get more goals than Brooks. So take your pick, but you've got decent options. Brooks are only at 5 mil. If you need a decent enabler and you do want to go for someone who does start for Bournemouth, who does play 90 minutes for Bournemouth, can contribute, go for it. Caicedo, like I said, I think I said earlier in the video, they've kept 2 clean sheets, and for 5.5 mil, like you're getting the dog of the season. Like I said this about Senesi, but for the midfielders, which hasn't been too great, Caicedo is number 1 for that. He's done really, really well. Rice as a defensive, I mean, if you're going to call him a defensive midfielder, hasn't been that defensive. He hasn't been great on the defcons, but who is going to have more possession than Arsenal most weeks? Or are they really going to hunt the ball like that, where they have Rice running up and down the pitch, winning the ball back everywhere? He's still quite a forward-thinking midfielder for Arsenal here. It sounds a bit strange to say, but he does, yeah. But his set piece threat is amazing. Like even for England today, another assist from a corner. His actual, like this, I can't overstate it, and it sounds shady almost. Like I'm not reducing him to set pieces, but he's really, really good at them. He's really, really good at those corners. Arsenal do take advantage of those opportunities, and while they do have a few difficult games coming up, that does mean that there's more opportunities for him. If they do get forward and do win those corners, he's going to be the one to get the assist more likely than someone in midfield unlocking. But I don't know. Maybe Eze's introduction to the team might change. I have no idea. But I think Rice, he's been so far so good this season. Ndiaye is another good midfield option. 2 in 3 games, or 2 goals in 3 games so far. They've got Liverpool and City in the next 5. So I've always been quite cautious on Ndiaye, but he's good. Like Everton can win some of these games. They can beat Liverpool. It's a big game, you never know. And they don't have to beat Liverpool for him to get points. He just has to score. So can Liverpool keep a clean sheet versus Everton? Can Manchester City keep a clean sheet versus Everton? Those are the questions I'd more ask myself. And if they don't, Ndiaye might be really like primed to take up those opportunities. The last midfielder that I looked for, Rodri's price has gone down. He finished 90 minutes versus Brighton in the last game, even though they lost. And we know Rodri his thing was he never loses, but he actually does get high defcons when he was fit. Is he going to stay fit? Manchester City's games are good coming up. He's the only midfielder I do like. Oscar Bob has started all three games for Manchester City. Do I trust that Oscar Bob is going to start the next 3 games for Manchester City? No. I do, however, trust that if Rodri is fit for the next 3 games, he's going to play. And if they win, he's going to be an integral part. Let me not say integral. He's going to be a part of it. So maybe Rodri would be worth some consideration. I hope. Not pressuring anybody to get him. I'm just saying I'm taking a look at Rodri for now. If I had a 16th player and a free 6.5 mil, I wouldn't mind Rodri in my team. So now let's look at the fixtures I'm targeting. There are better fixtures out there, but I just feel like these are the ones that are most sure to my gut feeling as to what would be the targets that I really, really, really want to fix. The fixtures that I really, really want to target. I think Burnley versus Liverpool is one, clearly, because I've got 4 Liverpool players and I don't want to let any of them go this week. Newcastle versus Wolves, Chelsea versus Brentford. I think now is just a good time for all these teams to play them. I don't know how Wolves are going to attack Newcastle. I think Newcastle have a high clean sheet potential in that game. I think because they're at home especially. I think Chelsea versus Brentford, not necessarily that Brentford can't win or can't get something out of the game. I just don't see Brentford keeping a clean sheet versus Chelsea. I think even Esteval is one of those options that I've missed out. He's 6.5 mil at the moment, I hope. But Esteval might be an option, provided that he stays in the team. And we might need to get some updates, like is Palmer back in the team or not. But I think Chelsea versus Brentford is one of them. Sunderland versus Aston Villa is the only one in game week 5. I'm like, you know what, book it. I want Aston Villa assets to score. That is the game they have to score in. I don't care how. I don't care who. I do care who. It has to be Watkins. But I think Aston Villa have to score in that game. I don't care whether it's home or whether it's away. They have to do it. Game week 6, I'm looking at Man City versus Burnley. I think that's another opportunity for goals in itself. It doesn't really matter how, who, or when. I think that Burnley will struggle to score versus Man City, but I wouldn't bet on Man City to keep a clean sheet in any game. I just feel like Man City should control that game. That should be a banker of a fixture. And Forest versus Sunderland. So that's enough time for there's a lot of versus Sunderland here, but and Sunderland are a good team. Maybe I'm not giving them the credit that they deserve. But Nottingham Forest should find their way. So if Nottingham Forest start to become the attacking team, I think that they will be under Ange Postecoglou. Then that would be it's a fixture I'm just interested in. I don't know what asset would be number 1, but I'd know by then whether it be James McAtee, whether it still be Ndoye, whether it be Hudson Odoi, or Chris Wood might just have his resurgence, and that would be a good game. Like, these would be where would my captain be? That would be one of the captains of the week. Then we've got Villa versus Burnley the week after in game week 7. That's the last game I'm just banking on Ollie Watkins to do anything. If he doesn't do it that week, then I give up. I truly give up. Arsenal versus West Ham. So that is the entry point for Arsenal assets. Whoever's in form, whether it be Gyökeres, whether it be Eze, whether even if Madueke is in form or does well in the weeks coming up to game week 7, Madueke is. If it's Martinelli, like, I'm not looking down at anybody. Whoever's in form versus West Ham or prior coming up to that West Ham game is who I'd like to keep on. If it be the Arsenal defense, that's a great time to bring him in. If it double, that's the time that I double Arsenal assets in game week 7. So much so that I'm tempted to bring in Raya as one of my goalkeepers instead of anybody. Like, I've got the money to do it. It might just be Raya, but game week 7 is where I'm thinking, okay, Arsenal, that's where the swing comes in. And then Man City versus Brentford. Because there are 2 good Man City fixtures, I think it might be important to find a way to get those assets. And I've been using Nori all season, and I don't trust him no more. So I'm like, okay, well, who else? That's why Rodri's come up as the answer. But then again, Haaland might actually be the answer. He's the highest scoring, high-priced asset this season. So it might just be Haaland should be the one instead of Salah. Salah just has more of a upside. Like, let's find out versus Burnley and see how it goes. And if that doesn't go well, if Salah doesn't find a way to put up some numbers versus Burnley, then maybe we might have to readjust. But even then, I'm even scared to do it. I can't let go of Salah. I'd have to do both. But if not, there's just so many good Burnley Man City games. So I'm like, am I gonna ignore City versus Burnley and City versus Brentford and come up with nothing? I'm a bit put off Reinders, but well, these are the things we have to consider. 4, that's what we're going through. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're still pushing for those 100 subscribers, so please, let's get them done. Like, please click that subscribe button. We're going to get to this top 50k this season, and I can't do it alone. I need as many comments as, like, how bad is that team? Is it good enough? Will it get me to the promised land of a 70-point game week? I haven't even done that. I've actually just been middle ground all season. But anyway, I'll pray that the points chase you all, and I'll see you for game week 4.